Hi all, this is Zen Zero, my personal Zen browser setup, and I'm sharing it with you with the installation instructions. It will make the web browsing experience distraction-free and like a native application rather than a web page. You may count transparency as a distraction, but not for me. So let's begin. Keep in mind that this is not to achieve transparency for the browser UI, since it should already have the system transparency and the blur effect if you are on macOS with Swift UI or on Windows 11 with either acrylic or the Mica effect. But, especially on Windows, there's a chance the transparency might not work out of the box due to some OS-related settings, or maybe due to your Zen theme or configurations. These things will be discussed in the troubleshooting section. You can complete that now or follow along the guide and continue. If you are on Windows, you can use third-party tools like MicaForEveryone or DWM Glass Blur to modify the blur effect and its properties. Setting up them for the Zen browser is also included in this guide. If you are on KD with Wayland, you will need to configure transparency and blur, so I have attached a guide a user shared, which you can follow. When it comes to GTK-based GNOME desktop environment, it could be complicated, as the only option you have is the Blur My Shell extension, which might cause performance hits. Also, the blur effect may have some artifacts. Although Windows 10 known to not have transparency support, a user reported that using DWM Glass Blur, transparency is achievable in Windows 10 as well, as long as you use with proper supported symbol links. More troubleshooting options will be discussed later. Let's start by downloading the browser. Go to the Zen browser's official website. Pick your operation system of choice and then download the installer for the latest beta or the available version. Once downloaded, install the app like any regular application. Once done, launch the browser. Now continue the browser setup wizard as you like. But, in the workspace color theme picker, feel free to pick a color or a gradient, but make sure not to increase the contrast to the maximum. Higher the contrast means less transparency, and lowest will give you the maximum, which I will go with. After the setup is completed, I will go to Zen Settings. You can click the gear icon at the bottom or use the Command - keyboard shortcut to do the same on macOS, which I prefer. As the first setting, I will set up my preferred keyboard shortcuts for compact mode. I will be using Command S for toggling the compact mode in Zen and Command - S for toggling the compact mode sidebar, which I sometimes use. Now, head to the Zen Mods page in Settings and open the theme store from this link. This is the place you can install browser style modifications easily as modules. Now install my mod, which is called Transparent Zen. You might have to search for it, then install the mod. Now, go back to the Zen Mods page in Settings. You will see the installed mod listed. There is a gear icon next to it. Click it to open the mod configurations. There, enable the Enable Transparency option, which will be at the top. If you are on a Linux-based OS, you might see another related option for transparency. Enable it as well. The rest of the options are extras for now. Next, find the Zen Internet add-on in the Firefox add-on store and install it to your browser. Once installed, it will appear under the Extensions menu. I will pin it to the toolbar for ease of access. Now, click the add-ons icon and the pop-up will appear. Since this is the first time using, click on the Fetch Latest Styles button. It will sync all the latest CSS style sheets from the remote repository and apply to the web page. You might need to close and reopen the browser once or twice for the changes to take effect during this process. Congratulations! You now have website transparency. Did it work? If not, you may need to check out the troubleshooting section. Most websites will have a native automatic theme that changes with the system. Some websites might only have a button or a toggle to switch it manually. Some websites may hide that only toggle deep inside settings and make the user experience a nightmare. Definitely not x.com. Unfortunately, some rare websites may not even have a dark theme. In that case, they may look unreadable depending on the theme. If so, try installing the Darkreader add-on from the Firefox store. I have added support for this method in the websites without a dark theme, but this may have some background color issues with overlay elements, but I do not want to waste time fixing them when even the developers don't care. Add to that, I will also recommend to switch to the Darkreader's new UI and make sure the Detect Dark Theme setting is on. Then change to the automatic mode for dark themes so it matches the device. Let's take a better look at the Zen Internet add-on. Expand the Features section to reveal customization for the current website. If it's a custom-themed website, it may have many features like YouTube shown here. You can toggle them to your liking. Some changes may require the page to be reloaded. For websites without dedicated themes, you can use the Force Theming option to try to make them transparent. There's many more settings to play with. In advanced settings, you can back up and restore add-on data. Also, you can disable certain features globally like transparency. Also, you can view your per site specific settings and more. If you find any issue with a theme, feel free to report them with the button. If possible, please go through the existing issues before submitting. And please do not open issues on the Zen browser repository when they are related to the customizations and user Chrome you have done. When you try forcing themes, some websites may not look usable or themed. In that case, you can use the button to directly open a theme request for that website. There are many open requests already, but most of them need an account to be accessed, which I do not have, so they are open for contributions. The rest, I will process and complete in my free time. I will try to prioritize bug fixes over new theme requests. Check the README in the themes repository for the submission guidelines. Open a pull request and I will verify and process it. Now let's take a look at some other customization the mod offers. You can hide the shadow around the webpage and make the full browser UI a single glass-like window. Additionally, you can enable these animation effects for the URL bar, and for the trackpad switch forward and backward navigation gestures. You can also add an image to the empty tab screen in Zen when no tabs are open in a workspace. The opacity, size, and the image itself can be customized. But make sure to enter the image URL properly as instructed. Not only web image links, but also local file URLs can be used here. Next, I will add some of my other additional browser customization. This is optional. First, follow the live editing guide provided in the Zen documentation. Then, download my userchrome.css and place it in the Chrome directory. Reopening the browser should apply the changes. The media player changes, removal of window controls, hidden compact sidebar in the empty tab screen are some of many changes included in there, so go through the CSS style sheet and remove the comment-separated sections if you do not want that change. Do the same for the usercontent.css to achieve transparency in native Zen browser settings pages. There are some browser flags I like to modify. Go to About config. Then search for density and change the value to 1 to enable the compact density, which you can switch to in toolbar edit mode. It is quite helpful in smaller screens, allowing to pack more content and tabs in the UI. The next flag I will be changing will be to disable the compact mode sidebar appearing on hover. I don't think many users will find this useful, but I try to avoid hover elements that can be triggered accidentally. A restart is needed for this to take effect. I explicitly disable hover because I have custom macros assigned to my mouse's extra button to toggle compact mode on click and open mission controls when held. These macros were created with the Carabiner Elements application on macOS. Next, I will change this element separation flag to 0 to remove any borders around the browser window, so the websites will be in maximum immersion and I can watch videos without using the horrible macOS full screen feature. This on Windows can prevent you from accessing the window controls toolbar at top. Deal with it. You can adjust the transparency of Zen in a couple of ways which may help you with text contrast. First one is a macOS exclusive. You can increase this number to increase the opacity of the background or reduce to make it transparent. A similar effect can be also achieved with a workspace theme, but this is unique to each workspace you may have. But would help to have transparency along with some accent color to differentiate each workspace in compact mode. Like we did in the initial setup, contrast slider will control how transparent the browser is. Now let's see how we can modify the blur effect on Windows 11 with MicaForEveryone. First, download and install it from GitHub. I will pick the app installer. Once installed and opened, you might see a difference in the browser. Open the MicaForEveryone from the taskbar tray. Next, let's add a rule for Zen. Click and drag above the Zen browser and then add it. Now I will switch the backdrop type for better transparency. Enabling the blur behind option will keep the transparency of the browser even when it's out of focus, unlike other Windows applications. Feel free to play around with settings till you find the sweet spot. Alternatively, here's how to set up custom transparency with DWM Blur Glass in Windows 10 and 11. First, download the latest version from GitHub releases and extract it. Then inside there, copy everything in the release directory. Like how the readme file instructs us, let's paste them into our C drive. After that, run the DWM Blur Glass.exe with administrator privileges. In the opened window, click Install and then switch to the Symbols tab. Click Download and wait till the symbol files to be downloaded for your specific OS version. Then head to the Advanced tab and adjust the properties to your liking. Make sure to apply each change manually with the button at top. There are some settings that may improve transparency and the blur effect system-wide. Add to that, these are some other custom themes installed in Zen with the help of Sign, an alternative mods manager. There is also a dedicated project called Translucent Win 11 which covers everything about transparency in Windows. Check it out. Let's take a look at troubleshooting in case transparency isn't working as intended. If all the websites has a white-colored background no matter what you try, that is because the add-on works but you haven't configured the Transparent Zen mod correctly. Check in about config if this transparency flag is true. If it's not, you can toggle from there or as the guide described, enable it in the mod configuration page. You might need to reopen the browser for the changes to take effect. Another problem you might find is that the browser and also other UI elements of the OS may not be transparent. This might be because either you have reduced transparency accessibility feature toggled on, transparency itself is toggled off, or maybe you are on power saving. But this depends on your OS and you need to verify all these settings. If it still fails and the pages or the whole UI has a weird different background color, it might be due to a mod that you are using. In this case, it's the Better Letterboxing mod. There can be others. Try toggling all other mods together to verify if that's the case. Also on Windows, the Show Accent Color on Window Borders option in Settings, Customization, Color, can cause the Zen browser to not have transparency. Make sure this setting is off. Outside macOS and Windows 11, you will have to do according to your OS to configure transparency at the first place, since they are not transparent by default. If none of these options did not help you, feel free to reach out for help. What if you don't like transparency and need to remove the transparent mods you did to Zen? This is how to properly uninstall the tweaks. First of all, uninstall the Zen Internet add-on. Then, go into your mods list in Zen Settings. This is important. Before you uninstall, make sure to restore the transparency toggle at the top of the configurations window, which we enabled at first, to be turned off. Then proceed to uninstall the mod with the Remove button. If you remove the mod without reverting that specific setting, it will not reset upon removal, and you either have to go into About Config, manually remove it, or you will have to reinstall the mod and toggle off before uninstalling. Once both are done, quit and reopen Zen for the changes to take effect. You can also remove the user Chrome and user content CSS files to remove those optional modifications. There are many other cool mods and customizations the developers in the Zen community have created. Try them out and share some love. Here are some of my favorites. Nebula Zen Theme, Natsumi Zen Theme, Arcline, Lacuna Theme, and there's more. There is also the Transparent Zen add-on, which you can use instead of my Zen Internet add-on. It allows you to take a different approach to transparent theming with customizable fonts, colors, and such features. If not, you can create your own theme if you've got time to waste, but please make sure to share with the community. Last but not least, you can try a following way to contact me or the community for help or any clarifications. I will try my best to assist quickly. First, GitHub. You can request website themes, report website theme bugs in My Internet GitHub repository. Also, you can report issues in the Zen Internet or Zen Themes repos. For any customization-related help, you can ask them in the Zen Help repository as well. But as I mentioned, avoid reporting these in the official browser issue tracker. In the Zen Discord, you can find the ZenZero thread. In Reddit, try to keep the posts to minimum and use proper flares and topics. Or simply join my TidWib Telegram group. Finally, huge thanks to the Zen browser team, the community, and everyone for the continuous contributions and support.